Namaskar and good evening, everybody. I welcome all of you to this webinar of Philosophy Family. Today, we have with us Dr. Pramod Kumar Das to deliver a lecture under the title Mental Health and Well-Being. It's under the perspective, it's under the Bhagavad Gita perspective. Well, Professor Das needs no introduction. He is the admin of this family. He is the man behind all the activities in the family. Now, today it is his turn to deliver a lecture on the title that I have just now informed. Well, it would be very good lecture as I could feel because very recently Professor Das submitted his PhD thesis and also got awarded a doctoral degree by GM University for his work on Bhagavad Gita. It was under the title, which I remember, it's a dialectical understanding, okay, of various concepts in Bhagavad Gita. Now he is fresh with ideas in Bhagavad Gita, and also last week he was in Amritsar, Hindu College, Amritsar, to address a lecture under the same title. Now today, Professor Das will be addressing that lecture in an extended version, and I thank him for his effort because I think because he is fresh with number of ideas coming from Bhagavad Gita. So I think we'll all be benefited by his talk because he has recently he's in touch with the text, the original text, and and also the various interpretations that he has come across. So I think it would be a great lecture today, and we have with us Dr. Ranjit Ghosh sir, Dr. Avinash Srivastav sir, and Shravani madam and others. And I think today we'll be having a very good discussion even after the talk. And I think the responses too would be equally better. Equal. I think the responses would be still better um, from Professor Das because he is a man who is committed to the text, and we also know that whatever interpretations that he makes a reference to Bhagavad Gita, and that's why I say we'll all be benefited from his ideas, from his interpretations. So I welcome one and all. With these words, I extend good wishes to Professor Das for having decided to deliver this lecture, and I see um, that a very good lecture is will be there for us. So with these words, let us all move to Professor Das for the lecture. Over to Professor Das. Welcome, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Both, sir. Audible and visible. The smiling face. Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Very esteemed Ranjit sir, Abhinash sir, and others. Today, we are going to discuss about mental health and well-being in the perspective of Bhagavad Gita.
Sir, voice
I shall-
on the
Hello.
lower side.
Yes, yes. Now,
Now better, sir. Now better.
okay, sir. So that okay. So we shall discuss mental health and well-being. I shall touch 4 points. Number one is how mind is dynamic Mind is dynamic. We shall discuss that. Then how mind is interactive. Number 3, how mind is dialectical by nature. And number 4, how mind is transformative. That means mind is subject to transformation. We shall discuss these 4 points because it is a very vast topic. And all these 4 points are connected with the text of Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, and very much relevant to our society, social crisis, and human existence as a whole. I believe, and I hope all of you believe, that our existence is more psychic than physical. Actually, we exist psychologically, though although we have body, but if there is no mind, if there is no interference of mind, then there is no discussion at all. There is no happiness, there is no agony, there is no question. Simply we live like animals and birds, plants, but we are human beings. We have a mind. And that mind is the only instrument which can become our best friend and the worst enemy. And we do not have the second instrument with us. Mind is the only instrument which can make us confused and enlightened. This is the dialectics. We do not have any second source, any second instrument with us. God has designed human being with this limitation that we have to go through either way, either in the way of good or bad, promotion and demotion, through this instrument that is mind. Conception of mind, the concept of mind is interpreted differently in both Western and Eastern philosophy. East philosophy, in Indian philosophy, the concept of mind is much wider than the concept uh, discussed in the Western philosophy. As we are taking Bhagavad Gita, so we shall focus on Indian perspective. So the first point that we shall discuss, that mind is dynamic. Mind moves. Mind is not static. Mind is active. Shiva Sankalpa Suktam, the first verse of that Suktam that describes mind, that mind moves faster than the light, faster than the light. And the same mind can return to its native state. This is how we can understand how mind is dynamic. We cannot keep our mind quiet because it is a natural tendency that mind will move. If we can keep our mind quiet for some times, but after that it will move. It will go away from us. So science can explain. Science means I mean psychology. Psychology as a science, or neurotic science, or that science which is related with our brain. Somehow that can explain the ongoing movement of our mind, that how mind is active, how mind can move faster than light. But science fails to explain, mind cannot explain, science cannot explain the reverse movement of mind, that mind can return to its own native home. This is the impossibility of science. So that is spirituality, that is spiritual sadhana. Here there is a very specific space for spirituality. That is also science. We can call it spiritual science, but it is a science of a different flavor, different practices. It is not just like empirical science. By that science only, spiritual science, we can understand how mind can come back to its native state. So both of the possibilities are there. So in both the ways, mind is dynamic. So mind returns to its native state. It is not a new concept. It is called pratyahara in Patanjali Yoga. It's the old medicine for mind. We know how mind can withdraw from its object, and that is a spiritual sadhana. That is the technique to have concentration. Then we can have dhyana, dharana, samadhi, all these things when the mind is controlled, when mind is groomed with the technique of withdrawal, that the mind can come back to its own native stance. So in this way, we have to understand, we have to accept the fact that yes, we are endowed with a very beautiful, sophisticated, very well organized instrument, that is mind, but that the mind has this possibility, and mind is active. We shall go to the next point. That is, mind needs a friend. Mind cannot stay alone without a friend. And that friend is the object. Mind needs a vastu. And that vastu may be in the physical form and also in a conceptual form. That means vastu or vishaya. Mind cannot stay alone. Mind needs a friend. Mind needs an attachment. Mind needs an object. This object or that object, that is different. But mind needs an object. When we are awake, when we are alert, at that time we cannot stay without an object. Object in the physical form and in the conceptual form, that is Vishaya. Suppose the object is removed, the object remains in our mind as the concept, as the idea. And there is a very beautiful saying, our bondage is only our thoughts, nothing else. Physical money, physical house, physical anything physical, that is not our bondage. Our bondage is only our thought about that object, thought about any relation, thought about anything else. That is the cause of our bondage. So Vishaya is more powerful object than the Vastu. Vastu can be removed. I have many times I have told the story that how two monks were going on the river there. They saw a beautiful girl. The girl was weeping. Then both of them asked the girl that what is your problem? The girl said that I want to cross the river, but there is more water, so I cannot cross it. I want to reach my home. So one of the two monks, he helped the girl, taking her on his shoulder, and he crossed. He helped her crossing the river. In this fact, what happened, the another monk complained that being a monk, being a sannyasi, being a renunciate, how can you touch that girl? Because that is a woman, and that is a standing rule that we should not touch any girl, any woman. The monk said, who had helped, that since 2 hours I have already forgotten that I had touched that woman. So I have no sense of bondage in my mind. But you have not touched, but still you remember that. So that has become a visaya, a subject, a concept, an idea in your mind, and that is your problem, that is your attachment. So our bondage is our thoughts. So this is the problem. So vairagya and attachment and detachment, that is only the mindset. That is psychological. Whether I am in bondage or I am free, my mind will define that. I am my mind, and my mind is my world. My mind is my attachment. My mind is my detachment. So whenever we try to understand our mind, we cannot understand without its friend. So mind needs a friend. We cannot escape it. We cannot escape from this position that we need a mind without a friend. Husband may be the husband may be that mind, wife may be that mind. A beautiful book that may be the friend of my mind. Lord Krishna may be the friend of my mind. Alcohol may be the friend of my mind. But some object must be there who is the friend of my mind. My mind cannot work, my mind cannot function without any object. So the second point is mind needs a friend. But the point is we are rational. By using that mind, we can choose the best friend of our mind. The technique is we cannot have a mind without object, but we can change the object. So if we shall fix a higher object as the friend of our mind, then the lower objects will be subsided. That is the technique. I am repeating that mind needs an object, or mind needs a visaya, subject. We cannot have any excuse. We cannot escape it, this position. Number one. Number two, we can do this much, that we can select the appropriate object according to our rationality, that we should have a higher object, a best friend. By that, we can make our mind free from its lower object. This is the only technique. Otherwise, we don't have any excuse. We can't say that I am so sthitapagya, I am so and I am so and so, that my mind is without any object. No, it is impossible. So what should be the friend of our mind? The qualification is that mind should be that object should be a higher object. Therefore, Lord Krishna asked Arjuna that you fix your mind on me. You fix your mind on me because I am that higher object. Because your mind cannot be without any object. You should have an object to be engaged with. So you fix your mind on me. Here me is the symbol. Me means the higher reality. So that your mind will not be engaged in such things like your brother, your teacher, your friends, your family, your kingdom, the merits and demerits of your action, consequences of your action. You will be free from all these attachments because
you fix your mind on something higher. This is the technique. This is a psychological technique. In this way, we can control our mind. This is not only in the Bhagavad Gita. This is not only between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. This is a common teaching to every man. This is also parenting. Even we can teach our children if they are having some objects with their minds which are not necessary, which are not conducive for their education, for their career. They are running after something bad, something which is not good for them. Then we can train them. Therefore, I am connecting this topic with the practical life of human being. This is not only in the Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, we can groom our children. We can teach our children that how can you control your mind. Remember one thing, that your mind needs a friend. There is no escape. But you have that freedom. You have that choice that you can choose your friends. What should be my friends at this age? Here, age is also a matter. If you are a brahmacharya, if you are a student, if you are living a life of a brahmacharya, then what should be the object of your mind? If you are a grahastha, what should be the object of your mind? If you are in a state of vanaprastha, what should be the object of your mind? And if you are living a life of a sannyasa, what should be the object of mind? We should ask ourselves. And what we are experiencing today, nobody is ready to leave the position of a grahastha. They are maintaining their life of a grahastha, even they are interfering in the life, in the conjugal life of their son and daughter-in-law, and daughter and son-in-law. This is not good, but because at a particular point we have to withdraw. We have to withdraw ourselves. The first technique, the first point, we have to withdraw ourselves. So tena taktana vanjita, that means we need attachment, but we should know how to detach from our attachment. We should have a sense of a vairagya. We should have a sense of a detachment when we are getting attached to something. So my mind can move. Yes, it is moving. It is going hither and here and there. But I have the capacity that I can withdraw my mind from anything else. Yes, at a particular time I may engage with my grahastha jivana, grahastha life. It has some social responsibility also. But at a particular point, I should be ready for vanaprastha, and at a particular point, I should live a life of a sannyas. That should be. If it is not there in our life, then there is no transformation. We just lived like animals. We are just passing our times. So, life should be lived, and that is lived with our mind. Mind is the only instrument. So we can say that we are really rich persons because we have a very sophisticated, very well organized mind. That this mind can be groomed properly. So here this is the beautiful point. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita it is said, why you are grieving, why you are feeling sorrow, the object about which, or the fact about which you are feeling sorrow, you are grieving, that is not the real object of your mind. That should not be the real object of your mind. You should not feel sorry for something, or you should not have any agony for something which is not the real object for agony, real object for despair. This is your misunderstanding. So that mismatches your personality, and that blocks your progress. So Arjuna, you don't fix your mind on something which is not wanted at all, which is destructive, which is blocking your way for progress. That is destructive in nature. So you should be free from that. So you have to decide. You have to choose the best friend of your mind. That is the meaning of Sakha. I am your Sakha. That means I am your Sakha of your mind. I am not Sakha as the relatives. These are all relatives. They are standing before you. They are the relatives of attachments. But Sakha is not that. I am your Sakha means I am that object of your mind which can remove the attachment of the lower objects. So fix your mind on me. On me means on something higher, that the lower attachments will be automatically removed. There is another problem in mind also that functions in the reverse. If we really try not to think of something, the same thing disturbs us again and again. Suppose we shall ask to our mind, don't think of that person. Try to forget that person. But mind will remember that person again and again. So by taking this type of decision that I shall not think about this fellow or that fellow, I shall avoid him. This is a negative approach. That way, mind will be more attached. So the positive technique is we shall fix our mind something higher. So that is the divinity. Something higher means the divinity is the higher. God is the higher. God is not in a religious form. I am not telling. It is secular form. I am telling something higher. So that all people of all types of religion, they can understand this. Yes, something higher. That may be Allah. That may be God. That may be Jesus Christ. Anything. So there's something higher, which is all inclusive, which is Sachidananda, which is pure consciousness, pure existence, pure Ananda, something higher, which can sublet, which can subside the lower attachments. This is the technique, and this should be also used in our family life. Yes, you have become grandfather, so you be free from this Grahastha Jivana. Make your son and daughter-in-law free. Leave them live. Don't interfere in their life. Many the family of doctors is disturbed only because of the mother, because the mother interferes. Don't interfere. And this mobile instrument is more dangerous because that disturbs everything, the peace of family. So you should know when to be attached and when to be detached. And we should know how to be attached with the sense of detachment. By this way, we can regulate our mind, and this is taught in the Bhagavad Gita, and that leads to mental health. Mental health is not an academic discussion. It is very much practical, and anything that is practical, that is called yoga. Yoga is not only theoretical, that we should understand what is yoga, that something is added. I shall tell what is yoga when I shall discuss about transformation. Yoga means transformation. Here addition is not a mathematical addition, that 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. Here addition means your character is added. You become something. That becoming something is yoga. That yes, something is added in your personality, in your character. So you became something. You knew something and you became something. That is transformation, and that is yoga. That means something is added in your personality, in your knowledge. So that is yoga. That is called transformation. We shall discuss. But here we have to understand that how mind is interactive. Yes, mind needs interaction. Mind needs interpersonal relation, because without that mind cannot exist. Mind needs society. Mind needs social relation. Mind is not isolated from any society or any responsibility. Mind is very much concerned with the society and all types of responsibilities. Therefore, the entire Bhagavad Gita is taught in the battlefield. That is the situation that is the adverse situation where mind is supposed to be reactive. But at that point, at that situation, the Bhagavad Gita is taught to Arjuna. That means mind has that capacity that it can be groomed even in the adverse situation, not in the conference hall of any university. It is taught in the battlefield where mind is supposed to be, and mind is focusing on all types of allurements, all types of attachments. Everything is there by which mind can be disturbed, but at that point, at that situation, mind has the possibility, mind has the capacity to be otherwise, to be free from all types of attachments. So mind is here and mind is not there. Mind is here, mind is attached, and the same mind is not attached. So attachment and detachment are two mindsets. And I shall go to the third point because I have to say many things. So I am just briefing that. The third point is mind is dialectical by nature. This is the human mind. Dialectical means uh, if there is a thesis and mind understand this, then it is mind has a natural tendency to uh, to know that to know its opposite, that what can be its opposite. Suppose you will train you will ask to a boy or a child not to do this. The child will be interested to know what actually it is that my father or mother is restricting me, is not allowing me to do this. So this is the nature of mind. If we understand the thesis, our mind should have the space, should have. It is the nature, that means it must have. But here I am telling ethically also, mind should have space for understanding its opposite. Then only we can have a critical understanding of something. Otherwise, we are dogmatic. So all ethical paradigms should have a dialectical approach. Otherwise, suppose we shall say, because father is saying I shall obey him, because teacher is saying I shall obey him, because scripture is saying I shall. No, this is not the way of. This is not the nature of mind. Also, mind will ask a question. So asking question is philosophical. We have to ask a question. Why it is so? We have to follow the Socratic method, that he was going to the marketplace and was asking questions to the common man to reach at the dialectical solution. So we have to ask a question. If it is, why it is there any exception to it? Can there be any exception? Can there be any excuse? If mind is ready to ask such questions, then only we can have a sound. We can hope for a proper judgment, because that is the critical approach. So we are now living in an age of practical ethics, not traditional ethics. We are now living the ethics that is contextual, that is subject to the changing aspects of the empirical phenomena. Telling truth is virtue, but we should ask the question: is it always virtuous to speak the truth? Sometimes, from the practical necessity contingencies, we can speak. We should not speak the truth if it is detrimental for the society. So here is practical ethics. Practical ethics means the ethics with ethics with exceptions. Ethics with exceptions. Yes, this is the traffic rule. But if such and such situation will come, we can avoid this traffic rule, and that is negotiable. That is not an offense. So in our practical life, we can live a life of practical ethics or applied ethics if our mind is dialectical. So here, Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they are exchanging dialects through dialectical questions also. If so and so will happen, what will be the result? If so and so will happen, what will be the result? Arjuna is asking so many questions about different possibilities also, and Lord Krishna is trying to answer Arjuna by solving all problems having dialectical issues. karma, vikarma, akarma, jnana, vijnana. All this, there are so many things. Manifestation and on manifestation. All these things are there, which Arjuna was required to understand, because without that, Arjuna cannot be a complete personality. Arjuna cannot have a sound mind. So, mind is dialectical by nature, but it has also a limitation, because only the logical mind is dialectical. Beyond that logic, beyond this empirical phenomena, beyond this practical ethics, dialectic will not work. That is also not metaphysical. That is also a natural part of mind. That is we shall discuss that in transformation, how mind goes beyond dialectics. Because dialectical mind is a logical mind which is necessary in the contextual aspect of the world, in the empirical part of the world. But that mind will not work when you go beyond these pairs of opposites. That I shall refer to philosopher Sri Aurobindo. How Sachidananda comes at the last in the ladder of layers of consciousness, matter, life, psyche, mind, supermind, and Sachidananda. In the state of Sachidananda, there is no dialectics. So, um, let us discuss that. When we say matter and consciousness, or matter and spirit, suppose we can take the philosopher Sri Aurobindo, that the spirit is in matter and matter and spirit they are integral to each other. But in generally what we understand, when we say something exists, we generally understand that existence means matter exists, or existence of a matter. ଟିକେ ପାଟି କର ଏ ପାଟି ନାହିଁ ଚୁପ. When we say existence in science also, we simply understand that a matter exists. Existence means that something is material. To be is to be perceived. Something exists means it must be perceived. So epistemologically also we claim that we must perceive something if we claim that it is existent. So matter exists. We cannot say that consciousness exists, because science does not accept this, that consciousness is something that can exist. But whenever we speak of existence, that matter exists. Consciousness does not exist. This is a very common view. So therefore there comes the dualism, that Purusha and the Prakriti. Yes, Purusha is conscious, means that is something different from Prakriti. Prakriti is something different which can be active, and Purusha is consciousness, that means which it cannot be active. Such dualism, such differences are there only because the common understanding that something material which can be said to be existent. It is matter that can exist. Berkeley said that to be is to be perceived, etc. All these things we know. But in philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, what happens? He told that yes, matter evolves to the level of life and psyche and mind and overmind, higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, supermind. All these things mind can develop. There are different layers of mind only because the higher is already there in the lower. The higher hemisphere is already there in the lower hemisphere. Therefore, the lower can ascend to the higher. This is a very beautiful contribution of Sri Aurobindo. But my point is, when we reach in the layer of consciousness, when we reach at the stage of Sachidananda, there we find existence, consciousness, and Ananda. These three become integral. These three become integral. Here we can't say that is something matter that exists. No. Here existence cannot be separated from consciousness, and that also the both existence and consciousness cannot be separated from ananda or happiness or bliss or anything like that. These three faculties are there. That I exist, I know that I exist, and I am happy with my existence. These three factors are there. We can understand our experience in these three ways. Suppose I exist, but I am absent-minded. My mind is not with me. My mind is roaming somewhere. That means I exist, but I am not conscious of my existence. I am not conscious. So here there is a difference between my physical existence or my material existence or my material body and my consciousness that can be separated. I exist, but I am absent-minded. I exist, but I don't have any feelings about my existence. I don't feel my existence. I exist, I know my existence, and I feel my existence. These three faculties will be integrated in, in such a stage where there is no dialectical differences. That is the stage. So therefore Sachidananda is the highest stage. After all layers of consciousness, there comes Sachidananda, where existence, consciousness, and feelings of happiness that cannot be separated. So this is the limitation of dialectics. So dialectics is the means, not the end. So mind should be dialectical, means mind should be critical. Mind should understand, yes, let us understand what is matter and how matter exists. Let us understand Berkeley's philosophy to be perceived. Yes, it is. Let us understand in the nursery stage. In the nursery stage, you understand, yes, this is matter and it can be perceived to be existent. Let us understand this. But that is not the final philosophy. You have to go beyond that. That is a stage, that is a layer of consciousness, that is a layer of understanding only, where matter is focused more than the possibility of the other possibilities of mind. So when we say I am giving a social, taking it from, discussing it from social aspect, suppose we are in the state of matter. For us, matter is the only real, and matter can only be said to be existent. Matter has only the pragmatic value, and all else is a myth, all else is a mystical, all else is metaphysical. Like this we can reject all possibilities. Suppose we think that matter is the only reality. This is the present society we are living now. Here, suppose I have taken a social example. Suppose wife. If we really exist in the level of matter, that matter is the only reality, then wife is not wife. Wife is not, does not have any value. Wife is simply a matter or an object of enjoyment. If the beauty of a wife is lost, then wife is not useful. This is happening in the Western society. This is the conception of a conception about wife in the material sense. If we take this, so change this wife. So beauty of my wife means this is a material appreciation, taking wife as the object, as the matter. Similarly, father is a matter. Father has become old, so just give him some money at the end of the month. Father is not useful for us now because has become old. So here father was a value for us when he had money. He was nurturing us. He was giving all type support. But now father is useless. This type of a thought is coming to our mind when we treat everything in the sense of matter. What is the value of it? Material value of it. We are treating even friend is a matter. Give and take relationship is a material relationship. You give something, therefore I shall give you something. Give and take relationship. Selfishness. So this type of a society is now prevailing in which we are living. This is a threat to a healthy mind. We should go beyond the level of matter. Suppose the next stage is life. If at least we reach at the stage of life, that we understand, yes, this wife is not a matter, this wife has life. Therefore, the wife has a sensitive mood. The wife can feel happy. Wife has a mind which needs my affection, which needs my care, because it has life. Then we can develop a sense of sympathy, empathy, compassion. All these things will come to our mind. At least we develop one ladder, that is life, which comes after mind. Suppose we jump to the state of psyche, then mind, then other states, overmind. In all these layers of consciousness, our social behavior is different. Our world is different. Our friendship is different. Our leadership is different. Our our enjoyment is different. Our vairagya is different. Therefore, I say we are all living in the same physical world, but in different psychological world. My psychological world is my world where I live in. Nobody, nobody. Every human being has his own aura. It has its own ambience, and that is very much personal to him. And that is created by his own sanskara, his own understanding, his own feelings, which cannot be shared by all. So, according to my aura of mind, according to my training of mind, according to my likes and dislikes, according to my habits, according to my vasana, I have created my world. So, my world is quite personal to me. It is different from all other minds and all other human beings. So, this is the points that yes, we have to accept that mind is dialectical by nature, because that is the best model of understanding the opposites, so that we can reach the synthesis, we can reach at a high, reach at the high, at something higher. So that is good, that is the starting point. But at there will come a point, there will come a status of mind, which is Sachidananda. That means here existence is not separate from my consciousness. I exist means I am conscious of my existence. This is the problem of today's life. We are suffering, we are having psychological trauma, we are having different types of psychosomatic disease, only because we are not conscious of our existence. We exist all the time with absent mind. We are not present in the present. We are always absent in the present. We are always present somewhere, not here. We are always present at some time, not here. We are always present with somebody, not with you. I am before you, but I am not with you. I am with somebody else. I am thinking about something else, somebody else. This is happening. Husband, wife, and child, three people only. They are sitting in a confined room, but all have three different worlds. All are engaged in their own mobile phones. So this is the lifestyle we are living. So in every relationship, there should be space, there should be distance, and that distance should be negotiable. That means we should not be too much attached, and we should not be too much distant. So that calculation is the calculation of a mind. How much I shall be attached, and with a sense of a detachment. So in every sphere of understanding, I have to use the dialectics, and at the same time, we should understand the limitation of a dialectics. Yes, there will come a point, there will come a stage that where there is no need of logic, speechless, silence. There is no argument, nothing else. And that is the goal of philosophy in India. That is the goal of philosophy in India. In India, We are not worried about so much worried about only linguistic analysis or conceptual analysis. That is necessary, but that is not the goal of philosophy. Here we want to become something. Brahmavid Brahmeva Bhavati, that I want to become something. Therefore, Lord Krishna trained Arjuna till the end, and at the same time he asked Arjuna that you don't follow me. A philosopher should not be a follower. You don't follow me blindly. You do whatever you think to be the best. You think to be the right. I just trained you. I taught you with all dialectical approaches, with all possibilities. I gave you a chance to understand this empirical world of changes. At the same time, I gave you a chance to understand the Vishwarupa Darshana, the unmanifest. I made you see all the two possibilities, two dialectical opposites. So you know everything. But when your duty comes, when your responsibility comes, you decide what to do. This type of freedom is there in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita does not advocate anybody else. That just I told you that therefore you follow me. Father is telling you therefore you follow your father. Don't become a follower. You become your own creator. You create your destiny. You make your destiny. That freedom is there in the Bhagavad Gita. And the fourth point, that is, mind is transformative by nature. That is, mind is dynamic. It's true. Mind needs a friend. That's true. Mind is dialectical. That is true. But all through this, mind is becoming something more programmed. That is becoming more sophisticated, more subtler than time to time. So mind is not that mind. I am not that person. What I was before 3 years, or 2 years, or 5 years, or what I was in my childhood, and that should not be. If I am that what I was before 6 months, then I am not living my life. And this is also the nature of mind, that mind gets transformed. So what Arjuna was in the first chapter in Visada Yoga, in the last chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, this or the mind of Arjuna was not that. Arjuna had become a great personality, a karma yogi, a jnana yogi, a yogi of devotion. He has become a complete personality, a synthetic personality. So, Bhagavad Gita can be discussed in two ways. We can discuss it mythologically, we can discuss it religiously, we can discuss it according to the characters of the Arjuna in a story manner. That is one type of a discussion, and all over the places Bhagavad Gita is discussed in this way. But if we are serious about Bhagavad Gita, if we are philosophical about Bhagavad Gita, then we have a second approach. That approach is that go beyond these mythological stories, go beyond these mythological interpretations. People are worried whether Lord Krishna and Arjuna were real or unreal, they were really living or not. That is not the question of a philosopher. The approach is that Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they are nothing but two minds only. And these two minds are there in every human being. Yes, I am a man. I have two minds. One mind is the mind of Lord Krishna, that is mind of equanimity, that is the highest possibility of a mind. That mind can become Sachidananda, that I told. And the same mind can treat everything as material. The same mind can be confused, can be attached, can be agitated like Arjuna. So the mind of Arjuna, the mind of Lord Krishna are only two minds in my being has two minds, the mind of Arjuna and the mind of Lord Krishna. And life is a journey between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. Yes, I am Arjuna, I admit. But what is my goal? I shall become Lord Krishna. Yes, I admit that my mind is dialectical, my mind is dynamic, my mind needs a friend. But what is my goal? My goal is to have a mind of Sita Pragya, to have a mind of equanimity. That is the goal. And the more we approach to that goal, we can think of well-being. We can think of the lokasangraha. We can do something for the society. We cannot but do good things for society. Our mind becomes wider. Our bistar, that is called bistar. Mind can expand. The same mind, the physical mind the physical mind does not expand. Here expansion means we have to understand it psychologically, that the understanding of a mind becomes expanded, that we can accumulate many things, we can assimilate many things, we can understand complicated things, and we can make synthesis out of thesis and antithesis, and and we can attain freedom. We can attain freedom. We can practice vairagya. We can practice detachment. That is through that is possible through this mind. So mind is the only instrument with us which can be confused and which can be enlightened, which can put us into bondage, which can make us liberated. We don't have the second instrument. This is our limitation, and this is also our possibility. So I just summarized this because many things can be told, because its branches are really wider than our imagination. We can stretch it as much as we like. So let us stop here, and we shall discuss. And in the course of discussion, many things will come out. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, um, we had a very beautiful talk from Dr. Pramod Kumar Das. It was really beautiful. It touched various aspects connecting the human mind and the primacy of the human mind. Because what Professor Das made it clear from the beginning itself that in life, mind is primary. Because a body without a mind makes no sense. As is your mind, so is your social behavior, so is your activity. Okay, in the spiritual path or in the normal path, whatsoever. The focus that Professor Das had was that mind should engage itself in some activity, and he selected the dialectic mode of understanding the negatives. So the more you understand the opposites, the better you will be placed in your position, because that is the methodology which can solve many problems, including the mental problems. Now, the very idea that carried the Professor Das carried was that mind should finally get a sort of transformation. So that was primary, that carried on in his entire talk. So, well, I'll come up with my observations and all the later part while having the interaction. But we have with us Professor Avinash Srivastav sir, we have Radhanath sir, and many others. So I request, because Ranjit Ghosh sir, well, he's not there. Well, I think Avinash sir, please, I request you to have your observations, your comments, your queries. Sir,
I have only one request,
huh,
that the questions should be very pertinent and very brief,
huh, huh, huh.
so
Yes.
that I shall have chance to answer. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay. That is that. Yes, sure, sir.
Let me extend the deep sense of pleasure and thankfulness to Professor Das, who has delivered a nice, informative lecture based on Gita, wherein the dialectical method that was adopted to improve the personality and to evolve it in a better way up to the stage of Shankaracharya Satchidanand, he has narrated it in a nice way. And he has rightly observed mind is the fountainhead of all the good and bad action, and rather man eva manushyanam karanam bandhana moksha. He has said in a very, very nice way. But one thing is there, how to keep balance on in between the two. Samatvam yoga uchyate, how this samatva can be had, this has to be explained by him. Secondly, it is a very nice thing that we are distributed in the entire world because of our indriyas, the senses. And that's why Gita says, Indriyanang hi charanta yanmanonu vidhiyate, tadasya haranti pragyan vayurnavivam bisi. The way the, the blow of the wind carries on the boat anywhere it likes, you will have to control your mind. Now question arises, how to control the mind? It appears from Gita itself, it has three ways to control it. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Karma Yoga. Normally, what happens? The time is a threefold present. Past is the present memory, present is the present experience, and future is the present expectation. And mind is distributed in between, either it is in past or it is in future. How to keep it in the present so that the position of this samatva can be attained? This is a simple query from a respected Pramod Kumar Das ji.
Thank you, sir. Yes, samatvam yoga uchyate. That is the goal. I was telling repeatedly that we have a goal of life. We have to reach there. We have a general mind, a common mind. We have a mind of child. Yes, we start our life from a child, life of a child only, where the mind is not so groomed, mind is not so trained, mind is not educated. So naturally, mind is not having samatvam. We have to accept that limitation of mind. My mind is confused, my mind is agitated. Lord Krishna did not explain everything to Arjuna in the very first chapter. Lord Krishna accepted the agitation of Arjuna, that yes, this is the natural mind. Arjuna, it is very much natural that you have this type of confusion in the battlefield, because everyone loves his family. Who does not? Everyone has that attachment. I told in my lecture that at the end of Grayastha Jivana, man is not ready to go beyond, to live the life of Vanaprastha, and what can be taught about to said about sannyasa. So the point is, be very simple. Accept your mind as it is. Watch its movement, how it is moving faster than light. Gradually, not overnight, gradually, if you become a good observer, so gradually that will happen. Okay, so it is not an easy task, but it is not impossible. So samatvam yoga uchyate, that equanimity, that peace of mind is the goal of our life. Therefore, that comes always at the last. For example, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha is the last achievement. Similarly, brahmacharya, grahastha, banapastha, and sannyasa. Sannyasa is
Sir,
the last
my,
achievement.
my simple query is, what is the modus operandi to control it from going either to the past or to the future or to be muddle-headed in the society? What is the modus operandi?
Yes, that was your
This
second
is my
question.
question. Yes.
Yes, I answered your first question.
It was a pinpointed
Yes,
question.
I answered your first question. The first question was how to attain samatva. I told that we have to first accept that mind is not samatva. It is very natural aspect of our mind. We have to accept the confused mind. When we are teaching in the classroom, we do not take the students as granted that they are all good students. We should think that they don't know anything. Then we shall, the credit of a teacher is that who teaches the bad students, dull students. So take your mind as dull, take your mind as confused. Yes, and take it very natural. Then observe your mind, where it is going, to whom it is attached. Out of that observation, you become a good observer. And gradually, you will attain samatang. Number one. Number two, out of the three possibilities, past, present, and future, we have to accept the general tendency of mind that mind is never present. We have to accept this. We have to accept the very original status of mind, very natural status of mind. Mind is never present in the present. Mind is engaged in the past memories, and mind is very much anxious about the future. My point is dialectical approach is that we have to accept the opposite possibility of mind. Yes, mind should be in the present. That is the goal. Samatvam is the present. When your mind is fixed in the present, there is a chance for samatvam. But really, we are not that. Somebody scolded me, somebody insulted me 3 years back or 5 years back. Still, I have remembered it. Whenever I saw that person, that person, that scolding is in my mind. And if there are some pleasant things also, I still remember the past memories because my mind is inclined towards the past events. Past that is called vasana. That is called vasana. Grahastha is not relinquished because we can't become free from the vasanas of Grahastha, the pleasures of Grahastha. We are not ready to have sannyasa. So it is the nature of mind to be engaged with the past. This is the natural tendency. And the another is the dream for the future that I shall be so and so, people will praise me, I shall be appreciated. So this is the natural tendency of mind. But because we are rational, because we are human, and that is the status of Arjuna also. Arjuna was that. Arjuna was worried about the past. In the battlefield, all types of thoughts about the relatives, that are the thoughts of past. That Arjuna should not be. The point is, the entire Bhagavad Gita teaches to be detached from. Detachment does not mean only the detachment from the objects or vastu. Detachment from the thoughts. Therefore, I told any bondage is the bondage of because of our thoughts. So past means our thoughts, future means our thoughts, but present is not thought. The train is running towards me, it is not thought, it is a fact. So be free from your past thoughts which are not real and the future thoughts which are not real. Focus your mind in the present, and this will happen to us gradually. By therefore there is spiritual practice, therefore there is education, and the purpose of education is also that. So the more we are educated, the more we can focus on the present. Even while we are driving, we should not have absent mind. We should focus our mind on the present situation on the road. So this is not only in the Bhagavad Gita, this is a very practical teaching in our life. Be present in the present. Many times you speak to yourself, many times you practice Gradually, we shall become that. What we shall think of, we shall become that. So knowing is becoming. It is our tradition.
Krishna has very categorically said in the second chapter, when he explained what you have said, that I am worried only because of my kith and kins and all these things. He said, Ashocyan vashochastvam pragyavadaschang bhasase gatasunang gatasuschang nanu sochanti pandita. That was the mundane existence in which the Arjuna was traveling. He has tried to pull him from that mundane problems, and that's why he suddenly says, "Not stop it, brooding up in the past and expecting from the future. To be present is the only reason. It is the only way to get liberated and to be mental peace." And secondly, he has said 3 or 4 methods for that. One is Jnana Yoga, another is Bhakti Yoga, and third is Karma Yoga. So, all these yogas, taking into consideration the mental construction of the man, the physio mental construction of the man, he has prescribed these so that he can be in present and mind will be passive and receptive and adaptable to the situation. This is how, in the entire Gita, you will find Krishna has tried to pull him from the situation and present him in a different situation. And in the last, what did he say? Sarvadharmana parityajang mamekang. Even after that, you cannot understand the things. Mamekang saranam braja. And thereafter, he says, Nast. So I have understood the entire thing, but he doesn't command. You follow all this thing. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. And by that time, his mind is controlled. So there are the 3 practical ways. And in between, there is a meditational ways. Prabhura madhe. So, so many things are there. These are the practical things that he keeps the mind calm and quiet and one-pointedness. And that's why this samatva can have. It can be attacked. So it is a practical way. And all these 3 ways are not superior or inferior to it. He says that all the paths are equal. Sankhya yogo prathakvala prabodantine vipashyati. Ekang sankhyam yogam cha yopashyati shopasati. If you adapt any path, you will attain the same state of mind. राह पकड़ तू एक चलाचल पा जाएगा मधुशाला. So all the paths will lead to your samatvam yoga uchyate, your mental peace, and that is why the sthit pragya stage will be had by all the 3 methods. It has been very clearly narrated by the Sri Krishna there. Thank you, sir. You have delved very deeper into this fact, and you have also tried to relate the mundane things and the present things which are happening in our life. So thank you again for your brilliant presentation. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, I shall speak something. We are discussing the same thing in different languages only. I have already told that I have also subscribed some techniques. The technique is that mind is naturally inclined to something, some object or visaya. This is a natural tendency of a man, and Arjuna had that problem. The practical technique that I told, that mind cannot escape its object or its visaya, but mind can, as we are rational, we are human beings, we have a rational mind, we can have a better object, a higher object, so that the lower objects will be subsided. This is the technique only, because we cannot remove our mind from any object. The more you remove, the more you become attached. This is the danger position of mind. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna through Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga that you just fix your mind on me. Your objects of mind are not your relatives. Your objects of your mind are not the consequences of your duties. You just sarva dharmana paritejya mamekam saranam braja. That means that you fix your mind on me. In sixth chapter, it is well said that you fix your mind on me. On me means on something higher, so that the lower objects will be subsided. So the point is, jnana yoga, karma yoga, and bhakti yoga, that cannot be taught to a person overnight. The very practical teaching to a layman, a farmer, a student, a child, where how can we teach him Bhagavad Gita? We can teach him from the from the understanding of the limitation and the possibility of a human mind. What is the limitation of a mind? How mind can become confused? How mind can run towards past and future? How mind can run towards something pleasurable, tangibly pleasurable, and at the same time we can make them understand what is the possibility of a mind, that mind can transform, mind can transcend, mind can go beyond all these things. For that, jnana is a marga, karma is a marga, and bhakti is a marga. But in fact, these three are also integral. We cannot say that I am jnana only without karma and bhakti. It is impossible.
Then
So
he said categorically, Jnana Yoga Prithakvala Pravadanti na Vipashyati. Both are identical. They are not
identical,
separate to each
yes,
other.
yes.
They are not separated.
These
But
three should be
what did I
integrated.
say? No, no, listen to me, sir. What did I say? It has also been said that you take into consideration the person and his psychophysical state, and accordingly you prescribe him the path. The time Arjuna was mentally perturbed, he says, Ashochan Vashocastang Pragyavadaschang Bhasa, because that time that was the proper way to train him. But the moment his mind is getting higher and higher, he is shifting the stand, and finally he says he is bewildered. He says, Sarvadharman, Yat Karosi Yadasnasi Yadjuhosi Yadasiyat. Yat Tapasyasi Kontaya Yat Kurushva. So he says up to that extent. And then what happens? Finally, he says, when he has taught the entire Gita, Yatha Ichhasi Tatha Kuru, because he has understood, he has pulled the mind of Arjuna up to the greater consciousness place, and that's why he says, now it is your duty to do the work as per your wishes only. By that time, his mind was elevated and he has become Sthit Prajna.
And
Thank you, sir.
one
So
sir,
nice
no
deliberation.
sir, no, thank you sir. Please, sir, I have one submission. I have my own contribution that Lord Krishna is not a second person. I am telling it repeatedly. Lord Krishna is not the second person. No teacher is the second person. No scripture is the second person. No parents are the second person. That possibility of Lord Krishna is our higher mind. And it is said in the philosopher Sri Aurobindo also. So my higher mind somehow teaches my lower mind, because we have four layers of consciousness. Sometimes I am awaking, sometimes I am sleeping, sometimes I am in the dreamless sleep. So that is the contribution. I don't take it mythologically that Lord Krishna taught Arjuna. Not that. We have these two types of
I
mind. This is my
Sir,
submission.
I have also not taken it in mythologically, because Lord Krishna is not the person who was physically present there.
Huh.
Lord Krishna
Good, good.
is in
Huh. Yes,
each and
yes.
every individual.
Yes, that is the point.
Is in each and the moment you face the practical situations, the problematic situation, the Krishna within you emerges there and he starts teaching the Arjuna there, because that time you become the Arjuna and the other higher thoughts become the Krishna. So
Huh.
the Krishna has just evolved his mind when
Yes.
he was highly perturbed with the mundane existence and the problems of the kith and kins. He says, Ashochan Vashochastvang Pragyavadaschang Bhase, you should not worry for those that has to be Gatasunang Gatasuschang Nanu Sachante. The things that
Very
has passed,
nice.
you will have to pass in that way. And that's why I have said the time is a threefold present. Past is the present memory, future is the present expectation, and present is the present experience. And feelings. So you will have to bind together all these three, past, present, and whenever you do the work, you learn from the past and do according to the future. So this is your merit, not the merit of another Krishna who is above, he is without you or he is additional to you. It is in you. You will have to decide how to be in the present situation, how to react in the present situation, and how to accommodate with the present situation, taking into the experience of the past and soothing to the future. Thank you, sir. Thank you
In
once again.
one sentence, I am just summarizing. Mind trains mind. Trains mind. Mind becomes a higher mind to understand the lower mind. This much. No teacher, no book also, because my mind is confused today, early morning, and the same mind is getting enlightened in the evening, and
Of course.
between that man commits suicide. Between that man commits
In
suicide.
between.
That is the point. So the situation of Arjuna was suicidal in the field of the battlefield where he was supposed to fight, but he is not ready to fight. So this is not the case of Arjuna. It is symbolic. It is the case of
Everyone is
everybody,
Arjuna and everyone is Krishna. Yeah,
everybody, everywhere.
everyone is
Okay,
Arjuna.
and
But,
the same mind is
and,
training the lower mind. This much my
and,
submission.
and that's why it
Thank
is
you.
said, Anu Raniyana Mahato Mahiyan. So when the higher mind devolves or into the lower जड़, जब तक जड़ शक्ति में चित शक्ति अंतर्व्याप्त नहीं होती, तब तक जड़ से जीवन का उद्विकास नहीं होता. And so long the higher mind doesn't train the lower one, you cannot evolve in the field. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a nice debate. Okay, so number of things could be learned. Well, I see from the entire discussion that we are having three minds, not two minds. Even the ignorant mind is a mind, the state of Duryodhana. An ignorant mind is clear with everything. He's on the negative side, wrong side, but he feels he is fully fit and is fully right. Okay, but bit of elevation, the Arjuna's mind, a rational mind. So a rational mind only confuses. The ignorant mind is under no confusion. It feels in the darkness, but still it feels that is the final version of clarity. The ignorant mind feels so, but a rational mind has a dialectic mind. He questions the various possibilities. So there the problem. There the problem, and I see a transformation. You see, the same mind when Professor Das also pointed out that I was ignorant of something in the morning, but then I thought of it, a bit of ideas on that. Then my mind became transformative. A sort of reflection was there, and there is an elevation to a sort of a confused mind. A confused mind is better than an ignorant mind. So there is a transformation. And finally, when Professor Srivastav sir asked how to be in the present, well, what I could see is being in the present is not that easy. To be ideally speaking, that to be in the present requires a mind that is passive, that is steady, that is receptive and adaptable to the context. And Gita is also subscribed to that. A passive mind, you see, the mind is dynamic, with Professor Das started with. That is a mind in the ordinary sense. But mind to be in the present needs to be very much
Very
passive,
nice, very nice, very nice.
much receptive. So it is only in that state that we
Yes.
can experience a sense of equanimity. I don't know whether, well,
Yes, 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 yes.
that I could gather from.
Yes, yes. In one sentence, I shall say we shall start with our limitation. That is dialectical approach. We shall start with our limitation. We have to accept our limitation. How much I have. With from that limitation, if we shall start, then we are really pragmatic. Then we are really learning. Otherwise, we can't learn. We have to know our limitation. Yes, this is my mind. I am in this position. If you do not know something, please accept. Yes, I don't know. I shall learn from you. I am telling symbolically. If you do not accept your ignorance, If you do not, there Socrates very beautifully said, yes, I know what I don't know. I know that I don't know. This should be the attitude of a learner. So, the learning mind uh, can learn. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, a good debate, well, good understanding, good clarity that has come out. Well, we have with us Radhanath sir. Well, some views from him, and then we'll move to Sravani madam, who has raised her hand. But before that, let us move to Radhanath sir. Well, if he's ready, or we'll move to Sravani madam. Radhanath sir, are you ready, sir? Okay. So by the time Radhanath sir gets ready, how well Radhanath sir is ready? Well, sir, please. Namaskar, sir, please.
Namaste.
Please, sir, your views, your
Thank
observations.
you, Dr. Rao.
Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome, sir. Please.
I joined very late when Professor Das was analyzing the concept of mind, its relevance, and the drifting of Arjuna's mind, and the counseling by Lord Krishna. How to subdue such a drifting mind. So, all these things, they belong to a subject called science of mind or psychology. Now, if you live with the body and if you are conscious of body only, suffering comes. Arjuna felt that he was living in the present, he was seeing his own kith and kin arrayed against him in the battlefield. He did not know how to combat such a inner feeling, whether to enjoy the fruit of the kingdom to be accrued out of this battle, or to surrender before killing his own men. Therefore, Lord Krishna gave him a piece of his own mind, saying that Arjuna, do not live in the present, do not identify yourself with the body, because in the body also there is another concept called mind. Mind is like a pool full of waves, taranga. It is difficult to suppress the waves from rising and falling. Therefore, if you have concentration of your mind, you can achieve many things. But then how to control your mind? One thing can be easily said, adopt meditation, follow yoga, the procedure of yoga. That gives you a sort of satisfaction as well as focuses your mind on an object. Thereby, a focused mind gives you illumination, which is denied otherwise to a perplexed mind of Arjuna. Therefore, the best thing would be not to be a slave of your mind, because mind drifts, mind moves astray, but it has to be channeled along a goal. And what is your goal? To attain Satchita Ananda, the highest stage which not only a human being but a divine entity is also willing to accept it. Therefore, the best thing would be control your mind, as Sri Aurobindo said. Evolution is raising human being to a higher level. Involution is dragging that higher mind to the level of human beings. If both of them join somewhere, you will have illumination. And that illumination gives you a calmness of mind, tranquility, and eternal bliss. Therefore, an English poet said, mind is its own place. It can make hell of heaven and heaven of hell. Therefore, to think that my mind is subdued, it is well controlled, it is focused, you are elevated. If you think that I have lost my mind, it cannot be settled, cannot be controlled by any means, you are ruined. Therefore, it is better that accept the grandeur of mind, focused. A drifting mind is of no importance because a body without a mind control is as good as a dead body. Therefore, there is no concession. And the pool of your mind has to be somehow controlled in order to focus it, channel it along a route in which the greatness of divinity is achieved. So that was how Lord Krishna finally told Arjuna, I have given you everything. Even the rare Vishwarupa was also given to you. Nobody, gods, saints, seers, they try to see my entire form. But because of my love for you, I have given you an insight through which you could see my Vishwarupa. Therefore, Jatha Ichhasi Tatha Kuru. The final word was, do as you think fit, because no one can train you, no one can train your mind. You yourself can do it because you have your power of discrimination, power of discernment, power of judgment, and proceed along the route you deem fit. This is the final word, and this changed the entire outlook of Arjuna. He was no longer a perplexed warrior. He was confined not to the present. He could see in future that whatever has come, it is uh, in the battle, it is the winning side of righteousness against the defeat of unrighteousness. Therefore, Lord Krishna opened his eyes and often telling it's not so easy to control your mind because you can control a storm rising from the oceans, but difficult to suppress your mind and to point it out, focus it along the route. Therefore, through yoga, through meditation, through some technique, or through some grand thought, you can uplift yourself and control your mind. You become noble. Forgetting that the present is maybe sad to you because you have identified yourself with the present and with the body itself. I am a warrior, I am a Kshatriya. My duty is to protect the weak, to prevent unrighteousness prevailing in society. That is your goal. And you have refused to fight. Who will protect? Who will assist Dharma? Therefore, do your duty with a calm mind and a well balanced mind, poised along a route. That is your duty. Do your duty selflessly, either Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, because there is the highest stage called Sat Chit Ananda. That is the or Bhakti Yoga, because as Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa said, at the highest level, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are interchangeable. They do not exist independently, they become one, including the selfless Karma Yoga. Though all the yogas need not be separated from each other, one contains the streak of other two. Karma Yoga contains both Bhakti and Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga contains Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga. But when they are joined, combined, as Sri Aurobindo did, and gave a new sort of yoga called integration of the four important yogas called integral yoga. That is so perfect, so strong. Even a weak person can also be elevated. But Lord Krishna said, yoga is not for the weak in mind, unsteady in perception. Yoga is for the strong, the brilliant person who can visualize what is his goal. Therefore, mind is its own enemy, mind is its own friend. Therefore, employ that, employ that great faculty called mind. Super mind of Sri Aurobindo can train the weaker mind, the lower mind, and it can be uplifted. Thank you very much for this small opportunity given to me. I am not competent. I have never gone very deep into Gita, but whatever I studied from the outside, A mind with its layers can be penetrated. A lower level of mind can be uplifted to the higher one. And this is the goal of all human beings. Thank you very much.
Very nice, very nice. You summarized my talk very nicely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Radhanath sir. Very well summarized, well dealt, well discussed. Thank you so much. Well, Shravani madam wanted to speak something, say something. Well, madam, please. You wanted to say something. Shravani madam.
Sir, namaskar. Am I audible, sir?
Namaskar, namaskar.
Sir, thank you very much, sir, for your brainstorming presentation on mind and how to control it. What I understand from your discussion that or it is very natural that mind moves here and there, and if we can control it, it can be our best friend. And if we cannot control it, then it can be our worst enemies. That we must understand in our every step of life. Mind is everything. Mind is our world. Mind is our thought. Everything is mind. That we must understand and practice in our life. And another thing that from the transformation point of view, one thing is there, that is a child is a miniature adult. In psychology we used to say it that in every human being there is higher level of consciousness is there, for which there is possibility of a lower self to become higher. Then if we can continuously practice it, then we must achieve that higher self. It is very difficult to practice, but it is not impossible. And another thing that detachment is very difficult. In every time we are being attached, and we are also try to detach from that attachment. It is very difficult, but if we can practice it in a continuous manner, we can slowly we can achieve it. It's my understanding. If I am wrong, sir,
Very nice,
please
very nice,
clarify
very
me.
nice.
Sir,
You have understood me. You have understood me.
sir, it's very nicely presented by you.
One sentence,
Uh,
Sabali madam,
sir,
one sentence I shall say.
sir,
If you love yourself,
sir,
you just observe one thing.
sir,
All the time you are absent,
sir,
and you need to be present.
sir,
You just observe. Don't debate. Don't debate. This is very personal experience.
sir,
All the time we are
sir,
absent. All the time,
sir,
and the time we are present, we are lost from all everything else.
sir,
Do follow me?
sir,
All
sir,
the
sir,
time, either you are engaged in your body or in this and your that, in a book,
sir,
what he said, what she said, what shall I do after this? You are
sir,
lost. We are all lost in past and future. In
sir,
this thought, that thought. That means we are always absent. So
sir,
the practice should be that we
sir,
should focus to be present. Very
sir,
beautifully, Radhanath sir explained my talk.
sir, sir, sir,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you very much, sir, sir. Sir, namaskar, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shravani madam. Well, we have with us Brundavan sir. Well, thank you, Shravani madam. Please, Brundavan sir, you wanted to say something.
Sir, am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
Haan,
Sir,
sir, audible, audible.
congratulations, Pramod sir. Uh, Recently, you have completed your PhD thesis, especially on Gita.
Thank you,
Again,
sir. Thank you, sir.
okay. Uh, that you today you have very beautifully explained the status of mind, that how mind is dynamic, how mind is interactive, how it is dialectic and how it is transformative.
Very nice, very nice.
But there is a doubt in my mind that
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
we have three yogas. That
Hmm.
is the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yogas.
Hmm.
All these three yogas are meant for only to control the mind,
Hmm.
or they are, or they, is there any desire in each yogas? They are asakti. There is asakti bhava in in yogas, or no, only anasakta bhava. I am in doubt. That I
Sir,
think
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that I think Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga desires for liberation, and Bhakti
Hmm.
Yoga never inspire for liberation. What I think it is in my mind. Clear it.
Sir,
That
sir, sir, sir. Sir, very good question. Very good question. We should understand the difference between karma and karma yoga, jnana and jnana yoga, bhakti and bhakti yoga. Whatever we are doing everyday life, that is karma. But it becomes a yoga when we follow, when our aim is to be liberated, when our aim is to attain perfection. Then that is yoga, that is addition. Whatever you have, there should be something addition. You should be added. As we are now teaching added value course. So some value should be added. So everybody is doing karma. Everybody is engaged in action. But that karma becomes a karma yoga when there is a something is added, and that is your attainment of freedom. How much you are free, how much you are not detached. That is, and you become a karma yogi when you know that technique, when you follow the niskam karma, that I shall act in such a way that my action will not bind me. Similarly, when we are talking about jnana yoga, we should know what is ignorance. We should know what is the limitation of a mind. We should know how much I am ignorant. That the great philosopher Socrates was thinking like this. That, and Aurobindo has also said that the island of my knowledge is surrounded by the vast ocean of ignorance. Who can say like this? If our thought is like that, if we understand, if we take jnana like this, then only we can become a jnana yogi. Otherwise, not. If we think that whatever I know that is final, and I shall start arguing with others, that is not the way to attain jnana yogi. We have to go in the dialectical process, that we should know how far I am ignorant, what I do not know. Okay, so this and bhakti yoga, when we are talking about bhakti yoga, generally we have asakti. We have attachment for past, we have attachment for future, we have attachment for any relation. But that we should be free from that attachment. We should have a sense of detachment. So bhakti does not mean that you are devoid of attachment. No, this is a very misunderstanding of a bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga says you have to be attached. Without attachment, you can't live. But you be attached with a sense of detachment, with a sense of vairagya. This is the technique. You don't flee away from this world. You should not go to Himalayas and live there like a sannyasi. No, you have to live in this problematic world, in this empirical world. You should have all types of attachment, all types of responsibilities, but you take all attachment in a good spirit, in a sense of detachment, and gradually we practice that. Gradually we should follow this principle, then one day we shall attain that state. So that is the technique.
no, sir. Somehow
Come.
asakti bhava is there or not?
Asakti bhava is there, sir.
Okay, okay.
Asakti is there, and gradually, I told that without asakti, you cannot live a grahastha jivana.
Okay.
You cannot give birth to a child. For giving birth to a child, you have asakti with your. You should be attached with your wife. But at one point, in the state of a Banaprastha, at a particular point, you should have to leave. We should have to leave that state, that attachment. You have to you have to transcend that attachment. You have to transform yourself. If you fail to transform at the at a particular age, that is called the age of Vanaprastha or sannyasa, then you are a failure. That means that attachment became a problem for you, that you are not free from your attachment. So attachment is necessary, but enjoy that attachment. And who can enjoy the attachment? Who is attached with the sense of a detachment. That is called Tena Tektana Bunjita in Isha Upanishad. In the first verse, it is well said that we can't live without attachment. We need attachment, but we should be attached with a sense of a detachment. Be everywhere as if you are nowhere. This is the technique. And actually, we are doing that. When we are debating, we are getting so surprised. But little or more, we all are that. We all are mature. Whenever we know this technique and we are practicing that in our life, somebody is doing little, somebody is doing more. Yes, we know what is the problem of more attachment. So we are attached, but with a sense of a detachment. Now time is to go. Time is to go means we should go. If you are still being engaged, then that is a disease. We should be free from that disease. This should be the style of life. Otherwise, life is full of suffering, like Buddha said. This is my submission, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Das, for this nice elucidation. Well, again, um, Radhana sir has raised his hand. He wants to say something. Yes, sir, please. Or anybody else has it? Radhana sir, please.
Uh, Professor Rao, I am not intercepting your talk. I don't have a mind to do so. But then what comes to my little thinking is that human beings differ in their mental makeup. Somebody is young and strong, he can adopt karma yoga. Somebody is emotional in frame of mind, he can go for bhakti yoga. And somebody is inquisitive in knowledge, he can go for jnana yoga. So it depends on the frame of mind you are endowed with. Therefore, you cannot ask an emotional man to go on working without attachment. It would be difficult. So, for all of us, there is a sort of boundary. Let us not cross it. If you are young and strong, you can be a karma yogi. But one thing should be done, detach yourself from the fruit thereof. Don't claim that I have done this, I have done. Karmanyavadhikaraste mahaphalesu kadachana. That should be your guideline. Your duty is to work and not to claim the fruit thereof. So Bhakti Yoga, you have to identify yourself with the supermind, with the higher mind, or with the Lord of your devotion. And Jnani, as the Sankhya philosophy says, Purusha and Prakriti, and you can rise still higher than what we generally conceive of Lord in his abode, and we can still go higher without any sort of deviation. So that's why we have this different types of people, and yoga is distributed according to their frame of mind and their aptitude in life. Thank you.
Dr. Rao.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Very nicely said. Well, the mental capacities do differ, and well pointed out that if you are a emotional being, um, bhakti would be marga that would be befitting for you. There is an emotional connectivity with the super. Say, you can land your mind on some divine force, be emotionally connected with that being. Okay, you will not be a gnani, the scriptures. You may not be having a scriptural knowledge, but emotional connectivity is dragging you to get connected with that super force. Maybe in ignorance, maybe the partial knowledge, but your emotion is so expansive that it is somehow trying to connect with that super soul, a recognition of that, and that would be a best mode for such person. And as you say, someone who's intuitive, okay, intuitive for having scriptural knowledge, okay, or he can be thought of for going for a gnana marga. But after all, finally, if we look at the entire course of things, some way be in gnana, jnana, or karma, but somehow the margas may look different, but somehow they merge. Even a of
Yes,
emotion,
yes, yes,
though you may not be
yes.
having cultural exposure.
In this point, I agree with you and differ from Radhanath sir that these three are three schools, three ways. That's all right. But if you are really become a you are become a real bhakta, you are you expertise your mind through Bhakti Yoga. At the end, Bhakti, Jnana and Karma are not different. If different, then you are ignorant. You are still in brackets. You are not liberated. So your bhakti will be meaningless if you remain ignorant and if you remain inactive. So for example, we are reading in different schools, Odia medium or English medium, etc., etc. But finally, we can read in plus two, then plus three, then we can have a better position. Similarly, through karma yoga, you train your mind. Through Jnana Yoga, you start training your mind. Through Bhakti Yoga, you start training your mind. But at the point, there is a synthesis. If there is no synthesis of these three, then without jnana, bhakti and karma are meaningless. Without karma, if you are not doing anything, simply you are become a bhakta, then it is not a complete personality. So I agree with Radhanand sir and with Bhagavad Gita that there are three yogas, three disciplines, but there is also synthesis. At the final point, all these would be synthesized as Dr. Rao said. Thank you. This is the contribution of Bhagavad Gita. Three three different, again three integrated. Your personality should be integrated with Jnana, Karma and Bhakti. Otherwise personality is not complete. Still biased. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Well, the point that I wish to bring out is how to start. There are three ways and how to start. Which would be the right way to start? I'm an emotional man. Okay, I have no knowledge of scripture. And
There Radhanath sir is correct. There
yes,
Radhanath sir is correct.
three ways. Yes, to start with three
Yes,
ways.
yes,
Somehow, even on the single way, the other gets connected.
yes,
Other gets connected,
yes.
and we reach okay with three connected together unconsciously.
Uh,
I see myself as a bhakta. In
uh,
the process, I became a karma yogi and also a jnana yogi unconsciously.
uh.
That I was in the bhakta marga, bhakti marga, but unconsciously, okay, I touched jnana and also karma.
Simultaneously, it is already groomed
This group.
automatically.
One, you touch one, the others somehow get connected
Yes,
unconsciously.
yes.
There is no need of a conscious interaction to bring in jnana or karma. So, so to start with, as Radhana sir has pointed out, you can start up with three
Hmm.
different ways, but somehow, as Pramod sir has said, that there would be a connectivity